My friend Tommy over at Arctic Retro is doing a project where he needs AT style of keyboard. And you know, the AT kind of keyboards uses this 5-pin DIN connector. And I actually was down in my storage area and I picked out 2 DIN keyboards and 1 PS2 keyboard. But you know, the problem was that both the keyboards that I picked actually have a fault. This keyboard did not work at all, maybe a capacitor fault or something. I will look at that later. And the other keyboard actually had some keys that was not working. So instead I am going to give him this Lenovo keyboard. It's a slightly newer keyboard. I really like these kinds of keyboard from Lenovo. It's rubber dome keyboards but with a good tactile feedback. And this is a PS2 keyboard. But what I'm going to do is that I'm going to put a 5-pin DIN connector on this keyboard in a bit of a special way. So that will be the topic for this video. Yeah, when I cut this cable, my plan is to do something like this and loop this through the DIN connector and actually make it possible to use both connections. There is a clock signal here and it kind of uses a frequency that can be disturbed. There are also some kind of limit to the length of the cable and so on to be driven by 5 volt and still keep within the logical levels, but we will give this a try and test it with my 386SX test rig before I send it away. I might actually do this pulling of the cable first, so to avoid having to drop the individual leads into this later. This cable from the PS2 connector will of course be the limiting factor for how this will go. Then you can see there are actually 4 leads and insulation, and you can see there are actually 4 different colors, and you have the ground wire. The ground wire on these are connected to the shield. There also is ground on one of the other pins. The pin is like this, is data, pin 2. Pin 5 is plus 5 volt. And pin 1 should be the clock. And then I think pin 4 will be the ground. And that means that we have the same over here. This will be the clock. And this will of course be shield. Ground. And this will be data. And this will be plus 5 volt. And then this will be ground. So that's what we will do, and I will just measure out what colors is what on this connector. I actually have a good guess from beforehand because I have been tinkering with changing these plugs before. This short one is the one that goes to this connector. I think both of these connectors here are seen from the plug side, at least I know this one is. It can be a bit fiddly to measure these when this is loose on the ground. So I will try to lock this in like so, and then it will be easier to measure this. The red one seems to go to pin 3. Let's see about the yellow one. Yeah, I actually think that this is the back side of the pin, because this is normally the red wire. And you have the data, that normally the yellow one. And I see that goes to pin 1. So that is yellow. And then I take the white one. And the white one is normally ground. And then we have the green one. The green one is commonly clock, and that should be clock, yes. When we couple this, we will have green, and we will have data, which is the yellow one, and we will have the red one, and we will have the white one. I will just connect up the leads, and I will check how the connector fits into this frame, because when you solder these, you have to make sure that things are going okay when you put on the plastic, so nothing gets shorted. So I think we will do something like this for the earth wire, and then we will just twist the leads together and put them in each hole separately. Yes, like that. And now I will have to test this on my test rig to see that it actually works. Yeah, now I have pulled forth my 386SX test rig, and I'm just connecting the necessary wires. I connected the screen and I connected the 5-pin DIN connector, and I just turn it on. And I just hit Del to enter the BIOS, and the keyboard actually works as it should. And to test that it really is a multi-keyboard, I have this adapter here that's PS2 to DIN, and I'm just going to connect it like that and try again. Yeah, and that also seemed to work. So then we have a universal keyboard with this lovely Lenovo layout that they had during the 2000s and somewhat into the, yeah, I think 2010 was the last version of this keyboard with real Nordic layout. That's it for this short episode. I think we call that a success, and now Tommy will be able to test out his AT equipment, and you can also use this on computers requiring PS2 keyboards. So thanks for watching. If you want to be notified when we publish more interesting content, please hit subscribe. See you in the next one.